And unfortunately, because we're doing this from the PS4, you have to have a game to stream, and it cut the feed. So, we are back.
There's
and
that.
if you're watching this after it takes place, there shouldn't be any issue with double video. It should just be smashed back together, but technical difficulties. But we're working through. But we stopped on Harrow.
Harrow, yes.
Okay.
And just real quick, that mission that we were going in before you crashed, I'm in it right now, and I'm done with it, but I just got new Loca to come and talk smack, so I will be along shortly to the next mission. However,
Okay.
we can discuss Harrow in the meantime,
Yeah.
while I use my Legion to beat these guys up.
Go ahead. Harrow.
There we go.
I am interested in him. And honestly, I think it's going to be in contention of kind of for John, because, like, they haven't talked too much about him.
They haven't disclosed his powers, but they didn't do it on the dev stream, but in the second stream podcast, they did talk about his powers somewhat. There
Okay.
is some interesting ideas they've taken into account, and this is why shield gating fucking kind of pushed me in this direction, because there was an idea of him having, like, and this was a very early concept. This isn't what they have
Official,
now. It's
yeah.
not something they discussed. Reb and Pablo talked about in very early rendition of this character or this frame. They had a him having very, very high shields with very, very low health.
So
And
much
then
like Volt?
yes, but he would sacrifice his shields to give to other players. I think it was health or something like buffs and things like that. Okay.
Interesting.
Ordis is how.
I like that idea. Because he has a stupid huge energy pool.
Yeah.
Well, granted,
That was
okay,
kind
that
of
was
another
only if those stats that we saw on the dev stream, because we didn't get a peek at his stats, that was only if those stats were unaugmented.
Mm.
Because he
So
had, like,
I'm-
420 energy. Fucking stupid high.
Again, none of that stuff was finalized. He is in his final state now, as of like the end of the week or whatever.
So
Last week,
coming
they're-
out next week,
No,
possibly?
no.
No?
They haven't announced when he's actually going to drop, because they just did the clan event this week. So this whole weekend is going to be based around doing that clan event. So I don't know that he's going to be dropping super, super soon.
Right.
I think the final throes of his workup.
I think he might be done, but I think they're still working on the quest.
That might be part of it. Which I love the direction they're taking with giving these quests to the syndicates.
Yeah.
Making them a bigger deal, you know, getting to know the actual leaders of the syndicates. That's good. I can't wait for Steel Meridian. I can't wait for Arbiters of Hexus, because I want to be judge, jury, and fucking executioner of the goddamn solar system.
I want to be Dread, damn it.
Yeah, you're damn right. Alright, invite. Incoming.
Okay.
Here we are.
Okay.
Okay, so with that, they did mention his in his current state, however, headshots are going to be like precision kills are going to be a big deal. There's
He's
going to
got
be
a
powers that
gun,
play into that.
right?
And there is a weapon that is coming out with him. All right,
Okay.
I think it's more than one weapon though. I believe it's more
I'm
than one
so
weapon.
hopeful that it's like a single, like a revolver style pistol, like an actual
It is.
revolver.
It is something like that. They show the weapon there because he's got that and he's got the weird whip thing, right?
Honestly,
So-
I think that might be part of his kit.
No, those are weapons.
Okay. Okay.
Those
Little
are
fucking
weapons, but I think the
urn thing.
gun. I think there's something to do with either he has some sort of ability that is passive on any primary or secondary weapon he uses for getting precision hits,
Right.
or he has a Mesa style gun hidden in him. I wasn't super clear on that. I listened to that podcast a couple days ago, so I don't remember it
Right.
to a T. But yeah, there's something specific with him getting headshots and things like that.
Okay.
Precision
Right on.
is going to play a big part in him. And there's the whole description thing about him sacrificing and giving up for his teammates and stuff like that is still pretty vague
Right.
and up in the air. There's no confirmation on anything there. So I also don't think they're gonna have anything to show anytime soon.
Right. Okay.
So I'm interested. Not necessarily hyped because again, he's coming from Red Veil, so I don't actually give a shit.
Right.
But
Interested to see what they
he
do.
himself seems very interesting. And a new whip. I'm all about a new whip because I will Richter Belmont the shit out of this game.
But yeah, Harrow's very interesting. I'm really excited to see more on him. And to kind of see where they go with it. I'd like to see them take a little bit darker tone because I want them to take a very serious tone with Arbiters of Hexus, and I want to get that fucking Star Wars Rebel vibe from Steel Meridian.
Yes.
And those are honestly the only ones they really have left, because they've done all the other ones.
Let's see, they did New Loka.
They've done New Loka. They've done Glass Gambit. They've done, or you had Silver Grove, which was New Loka. You have Glass Gambit, which was Ergo Glass in the Parent sequence.
The Parent sequence.
You just had right now. You had Cephalon Suda. So you got 3 left.
Yep.
You got Red Veil, Steel Meridian, Arbiters of Hexus.
Yep.
So with those,
the Cephalon one was not necessarily a super serious thing. There wasn't a very dark tone there.
There was a lot more emotion there, though. There was a lot more emotional.
No. It was. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate what the story was and what came out of it. But when you think about it, the overall tone wasn't as serious. It was, it's like one of them filler episodes in an anime. It's good, but it's not the plot.
Right.
It's not what's going on in the proper season.
It's not another cinematic quest.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with it, and I enjoy seeing the characters doing what they're doing on screen, because it's still just more of those characters that I'm totally invested in. But, I know it's not the plot, and they should get back to the plot.
More Goku being Goku, more Luffy being Luffy, more fucking Ichigo being Ichigo.
Pretty much, right? So, I get that. So it always feels weird when there's a mission like that. And, again, I enjoyed the crap out of it, and I like the frame. I like everything that came out of that. It was definitely a good time. But I really, the overarching story of Warframe is not a nice one. All right, it's about children who were, used as weapons, and
honestly, it's about
dark
murderous
entities
children.
Well, the game we play now is murderous children, but the overall,
we killed our parents.
The overall story. Well, the parents, it was, what is it? There was a conspiracy for that ship to end up going through the void because somebody wanted to see what would happen or whatever the fuck, something like that. I don't remember exactly.
Pretty much.
But because of that, it drove all the people on the ship mad, and the kids ended up surviving because they banded together while the adults were losing their fucking minds.
And ended up killing the parents.
And they ended up defending themselves and killing all the parents and fucking getting away. And then they were going to be used by the evil entities and the Orokin and then some evil entity comes through the void and becomes sterile and starts to yearn for the possibility of having kids, so she takes the Tenno and fucking hides them, and now she wears a funky headdress and she's got a massive rack. That's inappropriate. I shouldn't speak about Space Mom like that. That's not cool. Anyway. But yeah, the story isn't exactly a light-hearted romp, okay?
No.
This ain't no Adventures of Huck Finn, which, whatever. But I don't necessarily need the story to always be dark. I think Octavia is awesome, even though, it was stated a while back that, oh, you would never dance in Warframe. This isn't one of those types of MMOs and blah, blah, blah. And here we are with dancing emotes and fat beats to drop, right? So, never say never.
Right. And they've talked about that. Like, that's why they don't anymore. And maybe someday.
Maybe someday. Yeah. So I appreciate having those lighter moments, having those, because again, it's a video game. It's supposed to be fun, and we have fun playing it. So there should be some fun to it, and you get to things like Clem and Darvo and shit like that, and it's like, everybody loves Clem. Why? Because he's our fucking lovable idiot sidekick, and people would kill for Clem because he's fun. He's awesome.
We made him to what he is. He was that meme that we created.
Essentially, the community saw something that was fun and funny and took that and ran with it because we love that idea.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of opposed to the overall fucking theme of Warframe. It's supposed to be pretty fucking dark. We're assassins. We're space ninja robots. It's piloted by psychotic fucking adolescent emo kids, right? So I like having the lighthearted moments, but I do want to get back to the darker stuff because the darker stuff tends to reveal a considerable amount about the story.
Right.
Even though the Octavia quest was kind of contained when you think about the story that it told. It was something very specific to do with the Tenno and what's his name? Hunhao.
Yeah.
And what took place there, you know? Like, what the fuck? Did you just hit the timer?
Mm-hmm. We were talking about Clem. We're gonna go do a Clem mission.
Oh, dipshit. Okay.
But, yeah.
Wait, why are you not loading with me?
Oh, because we're going to relay.
Oh, okay. I was like, did your game crash again?
No.
Oh, okay. We'll do the Clem mission for now. But yeah. So I do want to see this darker tone thing, and all the, Catholic priest jokes aside.
Egyptian priest.
Whatever, priest. All right. Anyway,
priest, child.
I don't want to go.
Cool.
I don't want to go down that. I don't want to do that. I was raised Catholic. We're not going down that road. Okay.
Show me where on the
devout
warframe
Darwinist
someone
now.
touched you.
No. No. Stop now. Moving on.
Okay.
All right, you go. I was gonna say, yeah, go do that. All right, let's do this. But yeah, I am enthusiastic, and I hope that they go, they go farther and bigger with the next two, because Steel Meridian obviously has so many ties to so many things in the Grenier world, and like Rathum and things like that, right? Like, we've had those ties prior to us having a quest associated with them that's massive, right? And Artists of Hexus are these, like, law and order justice motherfuckers who are, uptight and hard and shit. So, yeah, I do want my Judge Dredd moment of, like, take your fucking beefiest badass frame and go murder this thing what deserves murdering. I am all about that. Clem is so tiny. Hi, Clem. Alright.
He is tiny.
He is. He's smaller than all the other
My
Grenier.
dog's bigger than him.
Yes. Okay. So, alright, with that out of the way, I think that is the last thing we wanted to cover there. If you wanted to discuss other games real quick.
So
I am going to Platinum Horizon, which is not a hard Platinum to get, I'll be honest. And then I'm going to go Platinum, what is it? The fucking other thing that I've been playing.
Oh, Dark Souls.
Not Dark Souls. I'm not going to Platinum Dark Souls.
Why not?
I don't know that I don't have the patience right now for that.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so the other two things I want to talk about. First is I want to talk about Paragon V40, version 40 for Paragon. Which, if you've played Paragon or know what Paragon is, it's a MOBA by Epic, and we've talked about this many times. But it's a MOBA style game, but they're in beta right now, and so they're looking at doing a lot of different things. And so they're constantly balance patching. The meta is constantly in flux, so it's always changing. And we had a huge update with version 30, a massive update that changed 20 cards, and it was 20 cards and 20 heroes. This time they said we're gonna do these giant big balance patches, and we're going to do them like every 6 months.
Yeah.
Or no, not 6 months, 6 weeks.
Every 6 weeks. I was gonna say, yeah, the game's been out only a year.
Yeah. Every 6
well,
months.
it's been in. Yeah, it's only been around for a year because we got in early access. A little over a year, yeah.
But so every 6 weeks. So it's been 6 weeks, come the 16th of May. And they decide, hey, we're going to drop V40. We have V35. We just have V34. Or V... No, we had V34.5. And so they're going to drop 34 point... No, sorry. Fucking numbers. Anyway, we're getting a patch next week.
Yes, next week.
And it's... I'm not expecting anything huge. I'm expecting pretty much what we got this week, which was, hey... Two new emotes and some skin variants.
Yeah.
And maybe an extra skin, because we did get Rogue Kalari last week, or this week, I believe.
Yeah, we got the 2 rogue skins.
Okay.
Which is a Kalari and Sparrow.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, we got them on 2 different patches. They came out 2 different patches.
Did they?
Yep. Sparrow came out first, and then Kalari came out second. But we got that type of stuff. And we got some really small stuff that really no big in-game changes. The only in-game change they actually made was they moved the raptors to the back of the pit. That's it.
Yeah.
And so I'm expecting something very much along those lines. Of, okay, we're doing something super small, super tiny, nothing huge, nothing like really game-changing at all. And they're going to save up as much as they can to put in version 40.
No, I think they're going to do a preload.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if this patch actually has some stuff preloaded and, you know, just time-gated for when they drop 40.
Right.
Because it would make sense. 40 is going to be huge, right?
Right.
At least numbers-wise. It's going to be a lot of stat changing, essentially, with cards and heroes. So, yeah. I could see a front load for that. I don't know that the patch itself is going to be massive. There's not exactly a whole lot of visual content or anything like that that's going to change. It's really just going to be altering stats.
They haven't said if they're doing another visual upgrade.
No. I mean, I'm just talking about like skins or anything like that. Like even those have there is a skin. There's
the next thing. They have teased on both their Facebook page and their Twitter.
Oh,
we are getting a Greystone skin, and this motherfucker looks like a T3.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's probably a T3 from what it sounds like.
Well, it looks tech and futuristic. And if you haven't played Paragon, Greystone's an old school magic knight. And it looks like fucking futuristic plate with energy running through it and shit. It looks badass. It's so cool. And they've teased it with 2 images so far. As well as we are getting a new hero for V40, and this is something both the community manager, KL Smith, Arctic on both Twitter and the forums, and in-game, and Mooney have come out and said we're super excited for it. So it's either a jungler or a support, pretty much, from that information.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're excited, that you get excited for. Ooh. But, and then on top of that, we know it's probably going to be something who's somewhat tanky.
So,
I hit the wrong button.
I'm guessing it's going to be a new jungle. But
I'm guessing too.
Is it, not an apprehension necessarily, but I'm curious, rather.
Right.
Because it took them forever to come out with a brand new, like, a ranged ranger.
Right.
It took them forever to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And, if they're gonna come out with something that is in the jungle, or something that is tanky, you know, more than likely it's another melee hero. They haven't had a proper, I mean, they just released Revenant not too long ago. He was the last hero brought out, and he was, you know, the first Marauder in months.
Right.
So, I'm not sure what they've got in the hopper.
Right. Have you been listening to what they've been saying about the community corners and stuff like that?
No. I have not been watching the community quarters lately.
I would say go back and watch them, because KL and Mooney talk about the new character, and they talk about something specifically that we've been seeing in Paragon for a long time now, and it's firsts. This character is the first person to do this. Richter was the first character to have a silence. Come on, there we go. Was the first character to have a silence.
There we go. Okay.
Yin was the first character to have a reflect. And Revenant was the first character to go to the Nether Realm.
Yeah.
This new character that's coming out has 2 firsts.
Interesting. I could see that being very interesting.
Right. Like there are 2 new mechanics this thing is introducing.
Okay. All right.
I am totally down for this. I am super excited. especially if it's a new jungle, because like honestly, jungle and support are the two roles that are not necessarily. I don't think jungle's lacking, but I do think support's lacking a little bit.
Yeah,
because
I
there
could
are
see more support coming down the line.
There are 6 heroes in each. 2 more supports and that would match that, because there are 2 fewer than every other class. And honestly, in my opinion, I've talked with people on streams that I watch about this, and I actually had conversations with people about, okay, ranked play. When do you think ranked play is going to come out? Because they haven't said anything other than they dropped rules this week about what they for condone play, and we're not going to get into that. That's a whole conversation in and of itself.
Oh,
but
there he is.
What? Oh shit!
I got him.
More importantly, it's they haven't given us a time for when ranked play is going to come. I think, and I've been seconded by this and listened to other people in the community. 6 characters each. 6 characters for each role. So you have plenty of cross picks, and then they could start instituting bans and do banned ranked play, which is what they want to do, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, no, that's gonna come.
Because you want to end up having that diverse field of play. You want to be able to, oh shit, they're doing this. I'm playing this role. Well, I still need this. So you can kind of, I'm still playing a support, but I need a support that does this thing now. And so you have enough of that, kind of, that cross-play potential. So I think 6 characters each, we need 2 more supports to get there. So I could easily see the next 2 characters being support characters as Epic's trying to push us to that point.
I would definitely like to see that. I think the support, the supports area is lacking, honestly, because it really only comes down to, right now in the meta, Decker and Narbash.
Yeah.
That's like the key characters. Cause Muriel does not get a whole lot of love or play. Sorry.
Not as much as she should. She's still very good.
And who else do we have? Like, who else really counts as a support, honestly?
Richter and Steel.
Well, technically, you can make Steel a support, but
well, what else is Steel?
Really?
What else is he?
I mean, he was jungle for the longest time.
No, never.
He's a fucking melee.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Narbash is melee.
True, but
and it's more about support. It's being
kit?
Control. He has control.
I would say, yeah, what? I guess he does.
He has his smash, which knocks you up, puts you in the same spot, doesn't let you do anything.
Okay.
He also has a push that kind of can throw you around, as well as a defensive move to defend his carry. I still see him as a support. Straight up.
I don't know. I could argue that I guess because he doesn't really have a whole lot else. He can also, I mean, he can play off lane by himself.
He can. He's got a little bit more damage now.
Yeah. I don't know. I just never really put him in the role of support, but I could see him being support because he can take a hit and he can body block for the fucking ADC. That makes sense.
Yeah, but the new hero, I would be super stoked if it was a support. Also, I love playing in the jungle, so if it was a jungle, I wouldn't have any complaints.
Yeah, I would like to have a fresh jungler. Because I don't really, I can't really get into a whole lot of them. Like Sebrog is really kind of the only melee jungler that I give a shit about.
Right. If it is a jungler, I would really love to see another real jungler. And when I say that, Another Notch said it perfectly. I want to see another jungler like Chimera. Not necessarily like him in his kit, but that is the only place that character will thrive. That character will feed, and that's his spot. That's his zone. I want to see that again. Another really, really strong, just good jungler who really can do a really great job at excelling in the jungle. I'd love to see that specifically.
Okay. So, you said you had 2 things. Paragon was one of them. To close this out, what else do you got?
The other thing I wanted to mention was, I know you're a Dark Souls fan, and have you been following the Surge?
Yes, I have been glancing at it. I'm
Comes
curious.
out this month.
curious, but apprehensive.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna
Okay.
see what happens there because there are a lot of games that are,
Dark
you
Souls
know,
esque.
kind of jumping on that Dark Souls-esque vibe, that coattail, if you will,
Hmm.
because of the popularity, specifically of Dark Souls 3 and how big it's gotten. 'Cause I have seen a couple of games that want to emulate that level of toughness and that want to emulate stamina-based combat and
Hmm.
things like that. And you know, Dark Souls may not have been the first to do it. They definitely come from a long lineage of games that have been doing this type of shit.
Right.
And there's actually there's a YouTube video that actually goes way down the line back to like Kingsfield and like really old games that, you know, where it actually comes from, where Dark Souls and where Demon Souls comes from, and then Dark Souls and so on, right? So
Right.
some of these games do it well, and some of these games don't. And I see the Surge as having a new take, a gimmick, if you will,
Hmm. Pushing it to
to
a new setting.
and I like the sci-fi aspect. I am a fan, so I'm optimistic, but I'm not hyped.
Hmm.
Sorry, I
Okay.
can't be.
I just wanted to bring that up because I know you are a Dark Soul fan, and I was wondering if anybody who might be watching would be interested in it. So.
I will say this: the Dark Souls Kickstarter, the Dark Souls board game Kickstarter.
Hmm.
I should be getting my backer kit in the next month. In this month,
Yay!
I
I
should be
really
getting
do
my
want to
Dark
try
Souls
that.
board game.
That sounds good. I saw Jim Sterling from the Jimquisition playing it.
Yep.
He was playing it.
Yes, a lot of people like in the UK and some of the backers in the US have gotten their review copies and things like that. So
Right on.
I am super fucking stoked.
Awesome. We did go a little bit long, but granted we had some technical
Hmm.
difficulties. But that's all we really got to talk about. This has been the 10:02 Drink Minimum with Cazz and ShotFace. Thank you for watching. We've covered Warframe, Paragon, and some new games that are coming out on PS4. If there's anything else you would like us to talk about, go ahead and leave a comment on this video telling us what more topics you would like us to talk about in our next edition of the 10:02 Drink Minimum, which I've considered. I need to talk to you about possibly taking it out of beta, but we still need to do a 9.9 because fuck it, we are casuals. Um,
Okay.
but we're looking at possibly pulling it out of beta and actually going to episode 1 pretty soon. We're getting kind of the general uh, formatting down pretty well, and so if there's anything you would like to tell us, anything we can improve other than technical difficulties, any constructive criticism that you would like to throw our way, it is all more than welcome. So leave all that stuff in the description below. Like this video if you like it. Don't dislike it if you dislike it. And as always, keep it cool, keep it casual. Thanks for watching. Fuck yes.